It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Epictetus. If you're watching this video right now, it might be because you've reached a pivotal point in your life, a moment when something inside you began to scream, quietly, yet insistently. Maybe it's the exhaustion that lingers even after nights of sleep. Maybe it's that hollow feeling in the middle of a crowded room. Or maybe it's simply the unease of realizing that, despite following all the rules, something is still missing. We live in a time when algorithms seem to know us better than we know ourselves. They anticipate our desires, predict our moves, deliver distractions when we're bored and silence when we're weary. Yet every so often, something different happens. Content appears that doesn't distract but awakens. It doesn't entertain, it challenges. And in that moment you feel it, this was no coincidence. Because maybe you didn't choose this video. Perhaps it chose you. And what if it's true that certain encounters only happen when we're ready to receive them? What if this very moment is exactly that? The meeting point between what you feared to admit and what you most needed to hear. In this video we'll explore this strange yet intimate sensation, the idea that certain messages reach us at precisely the right moment. We'll delve into Jung and synchronicity, Viktor Frankl's hunger for meaning, Bauman's concept of liquid fragility, and how modern life crafts coincidences that feel like destiny. But first, I need to ask you a question. If this video really found you, what is it trying to tell you? Some encounters feel so improbable that we almost believe in magic. A forgotten book on a library shelf, open to the exact page that answers the question consuming you. A phrase spoken by a stranger on the subway, touching a wound you've been trying to hide. A video appearing among countless others, yet insisting on looking straight at you. Coincidence? Perhaps. But as Jung said, what we call chance is merely the name we give to a law we have yet to understand. Life is full of these moments that slip beyond our control. They are like small cracks in the fabric of daily life. Moments when it feels as if the universe whispers something we couldn't hear in any other way. Jung called this phenomenon synchronicity, the mysterious correspondence between an inner state and an outer event. It's not that one causes the other, it's as if both are dancing to the same music, guided by a harmony that our rational mind rarely perceives. Think about how we live today, connected to screens, fed by algorithms, suffocated by an excess of information. We're bombarded by thousands of stimuli every day, and yet, amid this ocean, a single piece of content can stop us in our tracks. It's as if, among all the noise, one note stands out, perfectly in tune with what we feel, even when we couldn't yet name it. And perhaps that's what's happening right now. You didn't arrive at this video simply because you scrolled your feed, clicked on a catchy title, or followed some random impulse. Maybe chance is only the surface of something deeper, the reflection of an inner need that brought you here. As if your mind quietly had called out for help, and this encounter is the response. This is the first layer of the paradox. We believe we choose what we find, yet perhaps it's the encounters that choose us. Think of the moments in your life when something appeared at precisely the time you needed it most. An unexpected friendship, an unsolicited piece of advice, even a painful loss that became a lesson. How many times have you said to yourself, if this had happened earlier, I wouldn't have understood. If it had happened later, it might have been too late? Synchronicity isn't about predicting the future or believing that everything is written. It's about recognizing the invisible threads between what we feel inside and what unfolds outside. Threads that seem too improbable to be reduced to mere statistics. And here comes the question, do we live in a universe of pure chance, where everything is random and meaningless? Or is there a hidden order, a silent intelligence, weaving the threads of our lives without our awareness? Nietzsche said that we need chaos within us to give birth to a dancing star. Perhaps it's precisely this inner chaos that draws what we call coincidence. Perhaps your presence here, in this exact moment, is the echo of an internal disorder seeking form, seeking response. And if it's true that these encounters emerge exactly when we need them most, what deep within you is calling them now? There is a kind of language that doesn't speak in words but in signs. It's the silent language of the unconscious, a realm of the mind that inhabits us without asking permission, shaping our dreams, our intuitions, and even the choices we believe are entirely rational. Jung believed that the unconscious is not merely a repository of forgotten memories or repressed traumas, but a living, pulsating space that communicates through symbols and images. He called these archetypes, universal forms that transcend cultures and eras, emerging whenever we need to grasp something essential. This is why ancient stories still resonate with us. This is why, at certain moments, a seemingly trivial phrase can strike like a revelation. Yet in the modern world, this inner voice is drowned out by constant noise. We are always connected, always rushing, always consuming more stimuli than our minds can process. Silence has become a luxury. Introspection almost a crime. And still, the unconscious finds ways to make itself heard. When we don't listen in dreams, it appears in symptoms. When we ignore its whispers, it screams through anxiety, emptiness, or even psychosomatic illnesses. And perhaps that is exactly what brought you here, the need to listen to this forgotten part of yourself. Because deep down, it wasn't a random click that brought you to this video. It was an invisible need, a secret search that guided your eyes to these words. Consider how selectively we pay attention. You could be in a noisy crowd, yet if someone says your name, you hear it immediately. Not because the sound was louder, but because it was already marked within you. Life's messages work the same way. You only see what, in some sense, was already asking to be seen. That's why, on some days the same book can feel empty, and on others, it carries the exact answer you were seeking. The book hasn't changed. You have. Your mind was finally ready to hear what previously made no sense. Jung said, "What we resist persists, what we accept transforms us." Perhaps encountering this video is simply another form of acceptance, a chance to name what you've been resisting for so long. And here the mystery deepens. If the unconscious draws to us what we need, then every encounter, every message, every coincidence, is at its core a reflection of what is already within us. Chance, then, is not external, it is internal. It is not a random stroke of luck from the universe, but a mirror of your own soul trying to show you what you need to see. How many times have you felt that something spoke directly to you, even knowing it wasn't made just for you? A film, a song, a random conversation. This happens because the unconscious recognizes itself everywhere. It reads symbols where others see only distractions. It finds answers amid chaos. Perhaps this is the moment to pause and ask yourself, what within me called for this encounter? Which forgotten part of myself is trying to emerge now? Later we will explore how ignoring these voices can become an invisible prison. But for now, recognize one thing. If you feel that this video has found you, it is because a part of you has already been seeking to be found. There are moments when the silence within us becomes unbearable. Not the silence of empty streets, nor the quiet of the outside world, but the heavy silence that grows when we ignore our own needs, when we fail to listen to what our soul is begging to be acknowledged. Viktor Frankl, psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, said, "The primary drive in life is not pleasure, but the pursuit of meaning. Without meaning, even the most comfortable life can become an unbearable weight." And perhaps that is exactly what has brought you here. Not chance, but a deep need to hear something that finally makes sense. In modern life, the pressure is relentless. We're expected to be productive, to fit in, to display success and happiness on social media. Our attention is fragmented, our time sold in small increments, and our minds rarely find room to breathe. It is in this context that a silent need becomes a scream, the cry for recognition, for meaning, for truth. And this is why certain encounters happen precisely when we need them most. When we ignore our inner hunger, life delivers signs impossible to overlook. A song, a conversation, a video, anything that makes us pause and realize, yes, this is speaking to me. This is exactly what I needed to hear. Yet there is also pain in this process. When we refuse to listen, when we try to suppress what we feel, the need doesn't disappear, it transforms. Anxiety, dissatisfaction, a sense of emptiness. Our bodies and minds carry the weight of unmet needs, reminding us that we cannot escape who we are. Frankl reminds us that meaning is not something we simply find. It must be created, recognized, and lived. And here, the paradox reveals itself. What we seek most often finds us only when we are on the verge of giving up, when resistance fades and we surrender to the truth of what we feel. It is on this threshold, between exhaustion and full awareness, that something awakens within us. And it is precisely at this point that this video appears, not as a distraction but as a quiet response, aligned with what you were already ready to hear. Not by chance but by necessity. So ask yourself, What part of you has been pleading for understanding until now? What unheard need brought you to this moment? Later we will explore how this surrender, this yielding to what we cannot control, can transform into freedom. The freedom to finally listen to yourself and recognize what truly matters. But first, we need to understand the paradox of control and surrender. We live in an era that convinces us that control is the measure of security. Control over work, social life, routines, even our own emotions. Bauman called our time liquid modernity. Everything flows, nothing lasts, and yet we insist on clutching every fragment, as if letting go were synonymous with failure. And it is in this context that the paradox emerges. The more we try to control, the less we notice the signals that truly matter. The tighter we cling to predictability, the farther we move from the experiences that could transform us. Kierkegaard spoke of the leap of faith, the courage to surrender to the unknown, even without guarantees. It is in surrender, not control, that we find the chance to see life clearly. This video, for example, appeared when you least tried to find it, and perhaps when you needed it most. Not because you yielded to some external plan, but because, in some way, your mind surrendered to the invisible flow that life offers. Silent acceptance of uncertainty is what allows certain coincidences to become epiphanies. Surrender does not mean passivity. It means recognizing that not everything can be planned, not everything can be controlled. It means realizing that some encounters only reveal themselves when we stop fighting against time, against space, against ourselves. It means accepting that the universe, or something greater within us, has its own rhythm. And this is exactly where the paradox manifests. Absolute control imprisons us, but surrender liberates us. Yielding to the unknown is not weakness. It is a form of deep listening, an opening to perceive what truly matters. So, if you feel that this video has found you, and not the other way around, perhaps it is because a part of you allowed, even unconsciously, to stop struggling and simply listen. To listen to what has been asking to be heard. To hear the message that may have arrived too late at other times, but has come at precisely the right moment for this now. And here comes the inevitable question. What would you be willing to let go of to finally perceive what has been right in front of you all along? Later we will explore how this inevitable encounter acts as a mirror of what we carry within, revealing not only our needs but also the opportunity for transformation. Imagine looking into a mirror that doesn't just reflect your face but what lies within you. Every line, every shadow, every inner gesture, everything revealed not as judgment but as recognition. This video may be exactly that, a mirror. A reflection of what you already knew, but hadn't yet had the courage to admit. Gabor Mate speaks of pain as a messenger, signals from the body and mind trying to communicate what we ignore or suppress. When we refuse to listen, these messages manifest in unexpected ways. Anxiety, emptiness, silent frustration. It is in this state that the encounter with chance becomes inevitable. What seems like coincidence is not necessarily external. It is an internal reflection appearing in external forms. A phrase, a book, a song, a conversation, or even this video. All of it acts as a mirror, projecting back what was already inside you. It's as if life is saying, you are finally ready to see. And paradoxically, the more we resist looking, the more intense the reflection becomes. Modern life trains us to look away, to chase endless distractions, to forget the silence that echoes within us. But no matter how busy or distracted we are, certain encounters are unavoidable, because what we call chance is, in truth, the manifestation of something that needs to be recognized. This is the beauty of the paradox. We don't need to create the meaning of the encounter. The meaning is already within us. This video didn't come to teach you something new. It came to help you recognize what you already knew, perhaps buried beneath layers of noise, fear, and routine. So ask yourself, what is this mirror showing you? What part of yourself has yet to be seen? What silent need has finally found a way to reveal itself? And if it's true that certain encounters only happen when we are ready, perhaps this moment is an invitation. An invitation to notice, to accept, and to begin transforming what has remained hidden, not for lack of courage but for lack of awareness. Later in the next chapter we will explore how this awareness can become an opportunity for real transformation, showing that what once seemed like chance is, in fact, a calling. And if you realize now that this video is not just some random content on your screen, but a quiet response to something that has been crying out to be heard within you, if this encounter reflects needs, fears, and desires that have yet to be named, then perhaps this is an invitation, a call to transformation. Nietzsche reminds us that it is in chaos that the dancing star is born. Perhaps this is exactly it. The confusion, the restlessness, the emptiness, all signs that something must change, that something within us seeks expression. Every coincidence, every synchronicity, every message that arrives at just the right moment acts as a mirror, revealing not only who we are, but who we have the potential to become. Frankl said that even in the harshest circumstances, we can choose our own meaning. And this moment, right now, may be one of those moments of choice, not over controlling the outside world but over noticing and responding to what lies within you. To acknowledge the silent call that brought this video to you is, in itself, an act of courage and awareness. The final paradox reveals itself. While we searched for answers outside of ourselves, they were forming within all along. While we waited for signs from the universe, perhaps it was we ourselves unknowingly calling for guidance, echoing a need that could only be heard when we were ready. And here is the invitation: look inward. Ask yourself what this encounter awakens in you. What insight, what change, what acceptance does it stir? Transformation is not immediate, nor does it need to be. But the simple act of noticing, of recognizing the moment as meaningful, is already a step towards something greater. Perhaps, years from now, you will look back on this moment and recognize it as a turning point. Or perhaps it will remain a quiet whisper, reminding you that certain encounters only happen when we are ready. Not by chance but by necessity. Not by coincidence, but by the silent preparation of our own mind and life. And so, you find yourself standing before the inevitable. This video has found you, and for a fleeting moment, everything makes sense. Not as a definitive answer but as a reflection of what you were already carrying. A reflection that whispers, you are exactly where you need to be, and for the first time, you can truly listen. If this video spoke to you, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel to continue exploring the paradoxes that make us human.